So how
to Merrill Lynch in 2016, where I created a group with my son, who had been there through the training program, and 4 other women that I had mentored and hired from the time and worked with from the time they were in their 20s.
Wow, that's quite a journey. Actually, I didn't know about all of those different places, the places you had been, including the University of Miami and having the trust company.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
fascinating. Tell us what you're currently doing.
So currently, I'm a managing director at Merrill Lynch. And as such, I work with individuals, families, foundations, they're corporate, and making sure that their plans are in place, and making sure that that they leave the legacy that they want to leave. We manage the funds, but our added value is really on the advisory uh, of making sure that everything that they've worked very hard for, whether it's their family, their business, or their philanthropy, stays in place, and their wishes will be able to be met.
Great. Well, I know you have a very strong reputation as a mentor to young professional women. Tell us how you connect with the community outside your profession, inside your profession.
Oof. Wow. I've been involved in the community forever. From the time I was a little girl, I went to Carrollton School of the Sacred Heart, which really built into the community the volunteer work. So it wasn't something that you did for your resume. It was actually part of the curriculum. And so whether it was in school or back in Miami, I've been very involved. Usually it was around children and families. When my kids were little, then it was around their schools. So I headed their PTA. I was very involved in things that related to them. So as they grew, then I was re-engaged in more of the community. But I would say that you could put it under capacity building, becoming better, whether it's fundraisers or volunteers, or I co-founded and co-chaired for 22 years a program called Leave a Legacy, now Philanthropy Miami, that really is community-wide um, to help charities, not-for-profits, become stronger and more, I don't want to say business-like, but yes, more business-like, so that they could be better at being able to be better at delivering their services. And then also working with the professional community to encourage them to encourage them to talk to their clients about philanthropy, and so how to do that. And I've always worked with women on one-on-one, especially younger, up and coming women.
Yeah, all of those programs are beautiful, but I do know you also have dedicated a large chunk of your life to IWF and had all the way to serving as global president for more than 2 years even. So
Yeah.
tell us how that affected you and what you like best about IWF.
Oh, wow. So yes, I did serve in many capacities, and still do. I still had the nominating committee for their board. I still I'm on the governance committee, so I'm still very involved. And why IWF? I think IWF has been very important in the sense that you build incredible friendships and trust in people, and you can talk to women who are working in very different fields and learn from them and share with them in a very trusting environment. So I've made some incredible friends. By having gone to the conferences, I have really met people around the world, realizing that we're a very small world, that our problems are the same. They may look a little bit different, they may feel a little bit different, but our problems are really the same and our goals are really the same. And so it has, I look at, it really made me, especially when I was the president and traveling all over the world for IWF, it really, I think, made me into a global citizen. And by that, I mean gaining an understanding of the different cultures, gaining a patience for how people look at things, whether it is in politics or whether it is in religion or race, how they look at things. And it may be very different from how I look at it, but it forced me, and honestly, I wish I had done this at age 26, it forced me to be more open and to become a better listener. And that is an experience that I will never, ever, ever forget.
Speaking of being 26, what advice would you give the younger Teresa?
It's very interesting, Melanie. I never look back and say, oh, I wish I had done this differently. Oh, I wish I had, because I always think, and my mother taught me this, that you make the best decision you can at that time. And it may turn out to be a bad decision, but at that time, it was the right thing.
Right.
I think that what I would say to me is be a little bit less be more patient, be more patient, be more, yeah. I think it's the patience, the listening, the, and be more, slow down a bit, because life is a long road.
We've been hearing that theme from other interviews, so that's interesting. What fact, what fact can you tell us about yourself we could not find on the internet?
Oh, wow. I love doing arts and crafts, and I always have. And now that I have granddaughters and grandchildren, so I've taken it to a totally different level. And so I love doing arts and crafts.
Oh, that's great.
I love playing card games with friends. I don't think you would find that in
No, good facts to know about you.
Yeah.
Couple fun last questions. What book or podcast are you recommending now?
Oh, wow. I'm right now I'm reading the book by Nina Totenberg, about Ruth Bader Ginsburg. You know, I think that the podcasts that one of our members in Australia, Holly Ransom, puts on of interviewing some really interesting people are quite good. So I read a lot of newspapers. I read a lot of journals. And now, honestly, I'm also reading fun stuff. So yeah.
Oh, so last question. If you were in charge of the playlist, what song would be playing next?
Ooh, that's interesting. I am still into rock. I got back into Joni Mitchell when she performed last summer, and I had forgotten about Joni Mitchell. But she was in my youth, and I started reading about her. Honestly, I didn't even know she was alive. And looking at her resilience and looking at what she has done. I think she's such a role model, and you know, what better in life, both sides now.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
great
so
talk. Good
I'm
choice.
really, yeah. So,
Well,
yeah,
thanks for doing the interview. This was perfect. I'll see you
thank
soon.
you. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.